Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and this is episode number 325. And we have a really great condo down in where I used to live. I call
Belmont
it Epicenter
Park.
adjacent. And it is over on the other side of 75, right around Knox and Haskell. And it is 4608 Coles Manor Place, Unit 201. We're going to take a step inside and give you a quick tour of it, and you will not be disappointed.
And in our second segment today, we're going to talk about the impact of institutional buyers purchasing homes on the market.
It is a lot that is happening right now, and there's a lot of good things that they're beginning to discuss in the market. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out. So one of the things that we're going to shift around and do this year in 2026 is we're actually going to talk about the market when it pertains to a certain specific zip code. And we think that it'll kind of help people understand a little more what's happening in the area. So if there's a zip code that you're super interested in, let us know and we can review that. The first zip code that we're going to talk about is over in Northwest Dallas, and it's 75229.
And you live in the zip code.
It was easy for me to talk about this one.
So this is a really broad zip code that is bordered really on the western side by almost all the way over to I-35. North side LBJ, really it's Allen Crest. It's one of the smaller streets, and then on the South Walnut Hill, it encompasses a broad spectrum of properties. There are
Perfect.
little bitty condos in the western part of this. There are normal homes in the center of it, and then you get some McMansions over in the eastern end of it.
And I see a lot of people, everything is for sale from a lot to end user, to a fixer-upper, to a complete teardown. So there's a lot of variety, so this is a very interesting cross-section for us to look at. So what we kind of want to do is we're going to point out some of the information, if I can find my notes on this, that pertain to the stats that are going on right now. And currently there are 87 homes that are on the market, and this has an average sales price of $1,161,000. And it has a median, which is quite different, of 810,000, which again, as Jeff was pointing out, there's little condos and there's really big mansions, and so this can kind of really change when we take a look at the median versus the average.
Yeah, part of the zip code on the east is where some of the most expensive property in the city of Dallas is. So you get into a small section of it there where you've got a $28 million home and a $32 million home, and that really skews when you're talking the majority of your homes in there are under $1 million, I'd say.
Absolutely. We're talking about $337 a square foot is what the average is, and you and I were just showing Ashington, and it was $447, and that can tell you how much of a swing that there can be. And currently, days on market is 51, and that is such a relief given what we've been in the past. I think that you and I talked about white hot is not our favorite, but that this is also down from November this year, which was 61.
And in December, there were 22 new listings that came on the market in that zip code. There are currently 13 pending homes there, and then there were 17 that closed in the month of December, compared with 25 of them that closed in the year before, or in the December of 2024.
So there's about 2.8 months worth of inventory on the market. We like it to see closer to 4, but we'll take this every day versus what we've seen in the past. This still doesn't mean that this is exactly what's happening because there is such a large cross section. I think that you can actually dial it in and break it into condos, lots, and then also the different types of homes, and you can get even a more clear idea. But this is a really great way for us to kick off the new year and talk a little bit more about real estate here in Dallas.
So let's talk about our home.
Which one are we going to talk about, Jeff?
We're going to talk about 4608 Coles Manor Place, number 201. This is a really nice condo that was built in the last several years. This is in Belmont Park. It's a wonderful location if you're looking for affordable homes, first-time buyer homes. It's just, I think, a really great location because it has experienced that upswing in the last several years, but it didn't experience the crazy upswing. And so you've still got great access into downtown. You've got great access to go north on 75. If you need to get over to Love Field, that's still a hop, skip, and a jump. You've got some really cool cross streets that you can hit to go right over there to the front of it.
So we talked about how I live in 75229, but I used to live one street away from this on Manette. And so we used to call it epicenter adjacent. And so we lived back when the scooters were a big deal, you know, the Lime and the Red, whatever they were. And we could literally take and get on our scooters and head over to the truck yard or go over to Knox Henderson. It was the easiest place to get around. You've got a lot of great grocery stores that are in this area, which I always want to be close to one. And Tom Thumb is right around the corner from there. You literally can walk to it. Some of the things, what we like to also point out, and I really am nervous about sharing this because we like to share what locals love, but some of these things I don't want them to get too popular because I don't want it to get hard to get in. So what's the first one we're going to hit?
LDU Coffee. Now, I have to admit, I've only been in this coffee store one time.
I love this coffee shop.
I didn't live 2 blocks from it.
So. I walked to it. It's a great little neighborhood coffee shop. The guys there, I believe, are from New Zealand. This is their very first location. As you can see, I think they have 6 locations now. The coffee is superior, and it will light you up for your day at hand.
It's apparently one of the strongest coffees in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
But it doesn't taste like that. They have really funny books, and they had one there that was called "My Cat is an Asshole," and we actually gave that to one of our clients, and it was because of this.
Because her cat was an asshole.
It's such an So anyway, one of the other things that we love over here is going to be the Jimmy's Food Store. Favorite.
This store has been around, gosh, since the 50s, I think, 50s or 60s, and it is. I feel like when I walk into this store, I'm walking onto the set of The Sopranos.
That's a good way to put it.
It is that authentic. The way they talk to you is like, it's not disrespectful, it's not mean, it's just the way that I envision a true old world Italian grocery store, deli, meat market to talk to you.
Even the surroundings feel like it fits, you know, so go in there, grab a glass of wine, shop while and don't miss the meat counter. If you're making their spicy Italian sausage is my favorite I've ever had.
And they have, if you want a cheap date night, this is a great place to go because you can buy the pizza dough balls and everything that goes on it, and it's really very inexpensive comparatively.
It's great. So one of the other things too that we love over here, and this one is really new, this is the one that kind of makes me nervous, is Elephant Indian Bar and Grill. This has been open for, I don't think quite a year, probably 9 months, and it is right there. It was probably a Denny's location first, I think. Then it became a Buzz Brew.
Yep.
And today it is the Elephant Indian Bar and Grill, and it is spectacular.
The food's really good. It is not a fancy location. Looks like they've got one down on Beckley now, which I'm happy about. But the food was excellent.
It is. I will say this much. If you like it hot, you're in luck. And if you don't, really bring it down a notch because it does come out pretty spicy. So wonderful place. Check it out if you haven't already. And with that, let's go ahead and jump in and let's talk about 4608 Coles Manor, number 201.
This is a really cool 3-story condo. It is contemporary design, or kind of a soft contemporary design, in a neighborhood that is full of other soft contemporary and contemporary homes. Fits right into the neighborhood. It kind of hugs the corner. There's only 5 units in the complex, and one of the really great things about this complex is the HOA covers a lot of things that are not normally covered.
Like roof, hot water heater, and HVAC.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So when you come upstairs, this is where the living area is, and you've got hardwood floors. There's a small Juliet balcony that's really great. There's also a really great one that you can cook on. I like that the ceiling height was great, and because this is the corner end unit, I always say buy these because you get more light and you get more windows. And when we were touring this, you pointed out what's great about this one is that the windows of the next building don't line up with this one, so it's not like you're waving in the morning to like from friends.
Yeah, it's done very nicely. The fit and finish is very high quality. I love this live edge bar that they had installed. That is not something you normally see in this price point of home, but it's usually much more expensive homes, but it's done really, really well. You do have a full appliance package. All the appliances are included with this. Refrigerator, range, dishwasher, washer and dryer are included, along with all the curtains, rods, valances, and all the window coverings.
So that is something that so many first-time home buyers have to take into consideration, because that is a quick way to rack up a startup cost. But this is just turnkey, get in. They also, as you can see there, they've got a wine fridge that's going to stay, or a beverage fridge, whichever you would like for it. Plenty of storage. I think that's one of the universal themes in this one, is the amount of storage. And as you go to the second floor, this is going to be the secondary guest bedroom. Again, the ceiling heights still stay high, which is nice because so many times they'll crunch them down, and gives you full flexibility. I do like that this bathroom, again, we're staying light, bright white, but that they've also taken, if you see there, they've taken the tile all the way to the ceiling in the wet area. And for me, that's one of those ways that I think builders get out and make things look really cheap.
And this is the master bedroom, and it's really a great sized bedroom. You've got really great double exposure. You've got some to the kind of southwest, and then you've got some to the northwest there, which means you're going to get really, really great natural light. Big closet in this one.
Which really helps, because in these little areas you still have a lot. Now we're coming into the master bedroom. They did a really interesting thing. They've kicked off, because of the angle, the shower on an angle, which is really great. You will not realize how easy it is to clean when you just have one piece of glass. Now, one of the things they really wanted us to point out is the storage in this garage, but also that additional space right there on the right hand or left hand side. That gives you a lot of versatility. Previous owner uses a workout area.
And this is one of those garages that you can get 2 full-sized SUVs in.
And you will not understand until you shop around how hard that is to find. So this is, look at that, 19, almost 20 by 27. That is the bonus that you didn't know you were asking for. Again, they've taken an advantage of the closet or the switchback and the staircase and giving you storage under that. And as you can see, this is actually a 2-story. I think we actually said it was a 3, but this is a 2-story. Is that right? Or
no,
did I mess
it's
up? No,
3.
it's 3. I'm so sorry. So you can see here, really easy way for you to calibrate if everything fits. And there's a lot of apps out there right now. You can move all your furniture in before you take a look.
So this is 4608 Coles Manor Place, number 201. This is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, built in 2017. It's a little over 1,800 square feet, priced at an amazing $573,000.
It is a great place. So what we're going to do is, in the comments, you'll be able to click on a link and go and take a look at that. You can actually share the comments with other friends and family if they would like to take a look at it. There's a great way for you to zoom in and zoom out on that map as well. And we also want to say thank you so much to Lori McGuire for making it available to us to feature on the show.
Thank you, Lori.
So what else you got, Jeff?
Well, let's talk about something that we have been talking about for several years, and it is talking about the affordability crisis. I'm going to call it a crisis with housing, and how first-time home buyers are, just how things are changing with first-time home buyers.
Dramatically.
Yeah, we read we were reading a report from NAR, National Association of Realtors, that was talking about the average age of the first-time home buyer. And 15 years ago, the average age was 30 years old for your first home. Today, it is 40 years old. So people are waiting almost another decade before they buy their first home. And as we were talking about with Zach earlier, a lot of that is because people their wages, the price of housing has outpaced wages.
100%.
Therefore, people who have been saving for a long time are having to chase that goal of saving. And there's been this really bad lack of inventory, lack of affordable inventory.
And some of the things that have made it so difficult, in addition to the lack of wages keeping up with the appreciation, is high student debt. And then also, what were they talking about? Not only high student debt, but also student debt and high rent.
Yeah.
And how you're seeing so many rents today just being ridiculously high. And so just as a pretty strong 1-2 gut punch right now for first-time home buyers.
And one of the problems that has been identified, not by us, this is not our magic idea or anything, but one of the things that is affecting this are institutional investors.
Yes.
And there's a lot of reasons that if you look back in history, this institutional ownership idea really started in like 2007 and 2008, because that was when the market was starting to crater, and it went down by 2009. Or it was really at the bottom like 2009, 2010, and there were a lot of investment companies and investors that started buying property, and they were buying cheap property, and then they realized, oh wait, we're buying a lot of this property, and we're going to be the benefactor of when the market turns, and make all of that money in the appreciation of it. And so it was like 2012 was where this actually became like a really truly recognizable investment vehicle.
And these investors the vehicles of investment have gotten larger and larger. And one of the things that they do is when they're making offers, it's not the same offer as an end user, someone who's going to live it and homestead it. They're able to come in and they pay at or above list. They really don't care about the condition, because they've got the strength behind them and the crews that can just come through and set them back up for rent, that it has propped the market up in a way that it's even accelerated appreciation even faster. And so you get first-time home buyers who are getting beat out because they've got to have, their lender maybe has to have requirements, or they have to have requirements on, certain repairs. And then you've got an investor who'll pay at or above and say, I don't want any of that done. And here's cash and I'm ready to close. I mean, it's a tough.
Yeah. And these have even gotten to the point where there are these institutional investors that are partnering with, like Lennar is one of the largest home builders in the country, and they partnered with Lennar to develop neighborhoods, communities, with a few hundred homes in it that are they're the buyer. Right. That institutional investor is and when they're buying that at that volume, Lennar can do it cheaper, and they know every one of them is going to close. So it takes a lot of that financial component out, where an end user might pay $400,000 for that house brand new. The institutional investors are maybe paying $350,000, $325,000 to $350,000.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that we're seeing to help our buyers who are into that market to get a handle on it, I think it's being quick. I think it's also, you and I spend a lot of time making sure that our clients are well versed in a neighborhood, so that when that house comes on the market on day zero, that if it hits and it meets their requirements, they have the information from the past showings that we've shown them, that they can pull the trigger and feel comfortable in that. We also use Jeremy with SWBC, and he always makes sure that he's walked them all the way through the lending requirements, and that they're comfortable with that and they understand what they're getting into.
Well, and this is, I think something we're going to see changes coming. I think we're going to see legislative changes coming. There have been, I think, 3 or 4 bills already introduced historically that have all failed, but I think there have been 3 bills that have been filed to stop or at least restrict institutional investment in terms of this. And I think a couple of big things are going to happen. It would certainly make more resale homes available for first-time buyers, and it's going to be less cash competition. When somebody comes in and they're offering cash, and you've got Joe Smith over here who's doing a
5%
or even a 25% down, he doesn't look as good as that cash buyer over there.
It's very tough.
Yeah,
it is very tough.
So.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on this legislative discussions, and if there is a large one that comes up, we will definitely bring that back, because I think this is worth something as continuing and talking about.
I would agree. And if there's any other topics that you want us to discuss or want to hear us weigh in on, just let us know in the comments. We'll do it.
And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.